June 6, 1944, 00:15 hours. Strongpoint WN62, Omaha Beach. Gefreiter Hinrich Seau wiped down the MG-42's barrel inside the concrete casemate, facing the channel. In his pocket sat a letter from his girlfriend in Metzingen, vowing to wait for him until victory. The invasion will be their grave, he had assured her 3 days earlier, after Feld Marshal RML inspected their sector. The Desert Fox peered through Seau's firing slit, traced the interlocking arcs, and nodded. When they come, RML said, this beach will be their cemetery. Through the embrasure, Seau saw only calm, featureless dark. 12 hours later, he would be sobbing amid 13,500 brass casings, his barrel scorched and bent, staring at an armada so vast his mind balked. Though he later claimed 1,000, 2,000 casualties, historians note that total American losses at Omaha from all causes were about 2,400. The proof of German defeat would be etched not in staff papers, but in stunned eyewitness accounts from the wrong end of the sights. The Atlantic Wall ran 2,400 meters from Norway to Spain. 58 divisions spread along a line built with 17 million cubic meters of concrete and 2 million tons of steel. Hitler called it impregnable. Omaha's defenses seemed to justify the boast. 8 concrete bunkers, 35 pillboxes, 4 artillery sites, 18 anti-tank positions, 45 rocket launchers, 85 machine gun nests, and 6 mortar pits. The beach was a killing ground, 3,700 obstacles, Belgian gates, Czech hedgehogs, stakes capped with teller mines, and, behind them, 5 million mines, though RML had demanded 60 million. Colonel Ernst Goth, of the 916th Grenadier Regiment near Bayeux, calculated his 4 batteries could pour 120 rounds per minute into the sectors, with others massing even more. The math assumed endless ammunition, a fatal illusion. June 5th brought weather that Luftwaffe meteorologist Walter Stube deemed invasion-proof. 20-25 knots of wind, 6-foot seas, cloud ceilings around 500 feet. He projected at least 2 more weeks of poor conditions. Senior officers left their posts. RML departed for Germany on June 5th to mark his wife's birthday, gray suede shoes from Paris in hand. General Friedrich Dollmann sent division commanders to war games at Rennen. Naval patrols stood down, but the Allies had Greenland stations and Atlantic weather flights. Group Captain James Stagg spotted a 36-hour break, and Eisenhower committed. At 23:15 on June 5th, Freya and Wasberg radar on the Norman coast saw massive formations. Operators, used to Allied feints, dismissed them. By 00030, reports cut through the complacency. Fallschirmjäger, East, West, British, American, it was chaos. Dummy drops with firecrackers, Operations Titanic and Rupert, deepened the fog. Major Hans von Luck of the 125th Panzer Grenadiers asked to attack. Division replied, "Do not move until the situation clarifies." "I knew then we were lost," he wrote in Panzer Commander. "They were marking flanks. Every minute we waited was theirs." June 6, 0530. Dawn revealed what no training had prepared them to see. Verluscart, his presence disputed by some historians, including Seau, was credited in some accounts with first sighting the fleet. From horizon to horizon, 6,139 vessels, 1,213 warships, 4,126 landing craft, 736 auxiliaries, 864 merchantmen. The whole world, Bernhard Ferking told his men, has come to our doorstep. At 05:35, the bombardment began. USS Texas hurled 255 14-inch shells at Pointe du Hoc in 34 minutes. HMS War's Bite, first to open fire around 0500, would deliver over 300 15-inch shells in 2 days, including 96 on June 9th. Bunkers cracked. Men were buried, dug out, and buried again. Faith in concrete dissolved with the walls. The Luftwaffe's reply exposed the truth. Obus Isef Pips, Prill of Yagkashvada 26, received orders to strike with his entire force. What entire force? I have 2 planes. The Luftwaffe flew 319 sorties against 14,674 Allied. Priller and his wingman Unteroffizier Heinz Vodacek made the only beach attack that morning, a single strafing run at sword before fleeing. At 6:30, the first waves hit. Survivors manned guns. Seau opened fire at 6:35, one of the few positions intact, and says he fired 13,500 rounds in 9 hours. His MG-42's 100 round-per-minute bursts fed what would be called Bloody Omaha. Defenders suffered material shock. Every craft sunk, 3 more appeared. Every gun silenced. The ships answered. By midday, ammunition collapsed. Stocks planned for 3 days vanished in hours. Artillery was rationed to 4 shells per gun per day by afternoon. RML's armored riposte never came on time. The 21st Panzer Division received orders at 1,000, attacked at 1620, reached the shore between Leonard and Luc-Sumir around 1900, the only German armor to touch the coast that day, then, at 2100, saw Operation Millard bring 250 gliders to the British 6th Airborne and withdrew. They lost 54 tanks and vehicles, about 25%, and met Hobart's funnies, flails, flamethrowers, bridges, from another era. Behind the beaches, massive Allied airborne forces, the 6th Airborne and the 82nd and 101st, multiplied confusion. Aust Friedrich von Ditter of the 6th Falga Regiment judged, "They dropped divisions. They were supplied in endless streams. Units froze, fired at phantoms, or at their own. Command unraveled. Air strikes severed lines. The resistance cut cables. Radios were jammed." General Lieutenant Max Pamil at Lamar watched divisions blink off the net by noon. As darkness fell, the Atlantic Wall was breached. The Luftwaffe was gone from the sky. The Kriegsmarine sank 1 destroyer, USS Corey, while losing 15 E-boats and others. General Lieutenant Wilhelm Richa of the 716th reported, strength 35%, all strong points lost, artillery 90% destroyed, enemy advancing. Night counterattacks met flares and destroyer fire. Hans von Luck's Panzergrenaders were lit like daylight and cut apart. Mulberry harbors were already rising. German reinforcements crawled under constant attack. Moves that should take a day took 2 weeks. The 2nd SS Panzer, Das Reich, from Toulouse, needed 17 days and lost 30% of vehicles without firing. Allied logistics were relentless. LSTs disgorged armor. Within days, 15,000 tons per day were landing. By June 12th, German losses hit 26,000. Carentan fell, linking Utah and Omaha. The 6th Fallschirmjäger broke. Friedrich Fonder, "My regiment no longer exists as a combat unit." On June 13th, SS Oberturmführer Michael Wittmann's brief triumph at Villiers-Bauge, 13 to 14 tanks, 2 anti-tank guns, 13-15 carriers in 15 minutes, couldn't alter the math. His disabled Tiger was hard to replace. British losses were back within hours. Wittmann, with 138 tank kills, died on August 8th, whether to Joe Ines of the Northampton Shia Yeomanry or Canadians remains disputed. Cherbourg, fortified for 4 years with 21,000 men, fell in 5 days. General Lieutenant Karl Wilhelm von Schliemann surrendered on June 26th, later calling resistance meaningless against unlimited resources. Operation Cobra, on July 25th, unleashed 153 heavy bombers, 380 medium, and 550 fighter bombers, dropping 4,100-plus tons into a 7,000 by 2,500-yard box. General Lieutenant Fritz Boleyn, "My division is annihilated." The blasts even killed Lieutenant General Leslie McNair. The Files Pocket, August 12, 21, closed the reckoning. About 10,000 Germans dead, 50,000 captured.